Okay, thank you so much for being here tonight. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for All Missouri Students, sponsored by the Missouri Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. We appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the presenters cannot see or hear you. And this is just one of many sessions that are presented over the last couple weeks. So be sure to check out the full schedule for the remaining days this week. That's at MOACAC.org. And this presentation is being recorded and would be available for on-demand viewing within a week, as well as all the other sessions too that we've been offering. So again, at MOACAC.org. And now I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to our presenters.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Michaela Morrison. I am an Illinois College Admission Counselor. I cover the entire state of Missouri, so no matter where you're coming from, I will be working with you. Also with me today, I have Caleb Crawford, who is another admission counselor at Illinois College who's helping me out. And then we also have Jordan and Sydney, which are some current students, and they are going to be answering some questions at the end. But I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen with you. And so this just helps me keep on track a little bit because sometimes I can just get to talking. So I will go ahead and talk a little bit more about IC. Again, me and Caleb are here with the Illinois College staff. So our big motto at Illinois College is graduate ready. So it's kind of hard to think about that as a high school senior, junior, sophomore, freshman, whatever you are, to think about graduating college already. But we want to prepare you as much as we can for the real world. And I will go ahead and tell you a little bit about how we will do that for you. So one of the biggest things about Illinois College is our size. So we are on the smaller end of colleges, and I think that's one of the biggest benefits of IC. So our total enrollment is 1,150 students. We just brought in actually our largest class ever, so that is very exciting. And we've done that 2 years in a row, so it's nice to see that continued growth here at IC. Our average class size is 16, so you are really going to get to know your classmates and also your professors as well. So that was my favorite thing about being a student at IC is you really do get to know the professors. I had a brother that went to a big university and he loved it. It was a very different experience, but he told me he could probably name like one of his professors, and it's because he had that professor for 2 classes. And I just thought that was insane. Like, I can name all my professors. I've babysat their kids. I've had dinner at their houses. I think every student at IC could attest to that. Like, they really do care about your success in the classroom and outside the classroom as well. But that class size is really unique. It's really nice to know all those students for, study groups, or if you miss class and you need notes, things like that. And it's just really easy to make friends. It's not like sitting in a lecture hall of 200 students where you really only get to talk to the people you sit right next to. You really do get to, meet everybody. So a little bit more on the student experience. This is just kind of the statistics and the numbers. So we represent 32 states and 26 foreign countries. I also think that is a very unique thing about Illinois College is even though we're small, all of our students aren't coming from just Illinois or those surrounding states, not just Illinois and Missouri. It's actually really cool. One of our buildings, if you walk into it, the Rotunda, Kirby, has all the flags around it of students that have gone to IC. So I think that's cool if you're ever wondering, like, where exactly are all these students coming from? If you come give a tour to campus, you can really see that. So a little bit more about the numbers. We have 28% student of color, 37% first generation, 38% low income, and then 87% of our students live on campus. So you can see we have a wide variety of students. We don't just support one type of student at IC. So you will find that support, whatever your background is, whatever your future holds, all of that. A little bit about housing. So that 80% that live on campus, we have 8 residence halls. A lot of them are kind of your traditional dorm. So, you have your roommate and then you're on a floor with a community style bathroom. But then we have other options as well. So we have suite style dorms. And so those are, you and your roommate share a bathroom with 2 other students. We have super suite style dorms where you get like a living room in it as well. And then we also have campus owned college apartments and houses too. So the academic experience, of course, you're going to be going to college. The biggest aspect would be, what you're going to major in. So we have over 50 majors and programs to choose from. This is just a little fun way to kind of highlight some of the big ones. We can really, accommodate anything you're looking for. So even if it's something that we don't directly have, we are really great at helping students find that path to accommodate that. Some of our biggest majors, we have business, we have biology, education, communication, psychology. We have a full 4-year nursing program, so that is new to Illinois College. We used to have a combined program with St. John's and Springfield, but now we have that full 4 years on campus. So we are very excited about that. One of the great things about IC though is you don't have to declare until the end of your sophomore year. So you may think, I know exactly what I want to do right now, and you may stick to that. But you may take a couple classes and realize, like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. And that's okay. Like, that's what college is for. That's why it's not just a 1-year type of thing. And it's also okay to have no idea what you wanted to do. That was the boat I was in. I had literally no idea what I wanted to major in. So I took classes in education, I took psychology, I took communication, sociology, economics, all these classes that I didn't even really get to explore in high school. And I kind of found my place. And again, you do get those years to explore. We also have our IC Scholars program. So this is our honors program. And with this, you get a nice little cohort of honors students, and you are doing a little more exploration work. So you kind of get to find something that really interests you in a class, and you're maybe doing a little more in addition, but it's really cool. It's a really great program. They do a lot of projects, but also fun things too. Like I see them going out and doing, events together, whether that's like bowling or just fun activities. But with this, you graduate with honor. So that is just a great thing to have on your resume, whether you are, applying for jobs or applying for grad school, med school, whatever it is. Seeing that you were in the honors program is really great. But then also with that, you get a fully funded trip abroad. So I will talk about that on the next slide, but that's usually the big motivation for sure. So of course, as I mentioned, college, you're going to be going to class, you're going to be taking classes for your major, but we want you to be taking what you're learning in the classroom and be able to apply that outside of the classroom as well. So these are just some of the experiences we have at IC. These are very broad, but what's great about it is they're all right at the end of your fingertips. So these aren't super competitive things. If you're trying to do any of these, you can. So internships, you're guaranteed at least one. Most students will do more than one. You can do them, on campus. You can do them in the summer, just in town, whatever it is. So yeah, that's a really great thing, especially again for graduating. You want to have that stuff on your resume, but also you just want to make sure that it's something you would enjoy doing. So I had an internship and it was a desk job, but it was in a field like I thought I was interested in. And then I just realized like that was not for me. I needed a job that I was able to travel more or be more one-on-one with people. But I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't had that internship. And then I've had, friends that have had internships that have been like, yes, this is how I know I want to do this. My friend, she wanted to go into speech pathology. She wasn't sure. So she worked at one of the schools in town. And after that, she was like, 100%, I want to do this every day. So those are really unmatched experiences for sure as well. We also have student faculty research. So it's kind of hard to think about what research you'd be doing right now at this point in your life because you don't even know really what it is that you're interested in or you're interested in exploring. So most people think they're only going to do student faculty research if they go into the sciences. And of course, you would have that experience there, but that's not the only place you can do it. So you can do research in communication, in sports management, in business, in psychology, whatever it is you're interested in, you can find that student faculty research aspect. And what's really great about IC too is with those smaller class sizes and with that one-on-one connection with your professors, you're actually doing that student faculty research directly with the professor. So sometimes at other schools, you'd be doing it with a graduate assistant or a teaching assistant, so not directly with that professor. So yeah, that's a really cool experience you get here for sure. We also have a lot of community engagement. So if you are involved in community service now, or that's something that would interest you, you will 100% get that at IC. We have, community service starting out your first week that you're here. We do a big community service, group go out all over campus to do those. So, or all over the Jacksonville community, excuse me. So there's just lots of ways to get involved. And also with community engagement too, there's a lot of ways to get involved in the community that aren't just community service. And we do a lot of stuff with, and I'll talk about this later, but our Center for Student Involvement does a lot of stuff with like the downtown, the locally owned like businesses and shops and things like that. And then the international travel that I mentioned earlier, so breakaways, we also have study abroad opportunities too. So study abroad is when you're going for a semester or a year and you are actually taking classes at a partnering institution. So I've had friends go to Spain, London, Ireland, Brazil, France. The options are kind of limitless, like wherever you'd want to go, you could find something. One of my good friends actually did a study abroad in Ireland 1 year and she loved it so much she's now at grad school in Ireland. So I'm like living through her Snapchat stories. But we also have breakaways. So what a breakaway is it is a summer trip and it's usually 10 to 20 days. So you're not actually taking classes when you go, and it's a little less of a commitment because you're not gone for a whole semester. So I went on a couple of breakaways when I was a student at Illinois College. So I went to Paris one summer.
Apologies. I couldn't hear what you said.
And then I went to England, France, and Germany one summer. Sorry, my watch just started talking to me. But, and then I went to England, France, and Germany one summer as well. So really cool experiences. And what's great about all of this stuff that I just mentioned, you get $1,000 to use on any of that. So whether, you decide you want to go abroad, or let's say you get an internship somewhere over the summer, out of state in Texas or something, and you have to live in an apartment, you could use that money to pay for that as well. We also have a lot of academic support. So this is, again, just a little snapshot of some of the stuff that we offer here at IC. So we have the TRIO program, and what the TRIO program is it supports a lot of different students. So that supports first generation students, that can support low income students, students with a documented disability, but that is a great program as well. And that's something too, especially if you are a senior, that you can talk to your admission counselor about getting more information and getting you connected with that. And getting you, into that program as well. But we also have our academic success mentorship. So every student, when they start out, they will be assigned an academic coach. So that coach, that is purely their job on campus, is to be an academic coach, and they help students so much. So they help with just kind of the day-to-day with college, how to read a college syllabus, or how to manage studying, time management, all of that stuff that's going to be different from high school. But then they can also help with connecting you with tutors or helping you, stay on track in classes, things like that. And, they've told me they have students that they meet with once a week. They have students they meet with once a month, or they just have students they check in with, once a semester. So again, as much as you would need their help, they are there to help you. We also have free tutoring as well. So our tutors are current students who have done really well in a class or a subject. It's what they're majoring in. They're usually an upper level classmen, and they can help with tutoring. So again, even if it's just a random class, like not even something you're majoring in, let's say you are taking economics or something like that, and you just need a little extra help in it, yeah, they can totally help with that. They can help you just with that specific class. Or, I've had friends who have needed help kind of over their 4-year course of their major. And so they've had kind of consistent tutors with that too. But that is a free resource for you. We also have the Writing Center as well, and the Speech Center. So those are for you to bring a paper or a speech and get it critiqued before you actually get a grade. So that is a really cool opportunity as well. And then we also have career planning. So we have a really great career services office. And again, as I mentioned, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And so it was really hard for me to think about, I don't even know what I want to major in. How am I going to know what I'm going to do after, 4 years of college? So I met with them so much. They are a great office on campus, and they will help you with everything, whether it's having you, sit down and take a quiz to see maybe what you could fit in well with job-wise, or helping you with grad school applications or mock interviews or med school applications, whatever it is. They will help you to lead to that success for sure. We also have our Finish in 4 guarantee. So I love being able to tell students about this because it is such a nice thing that Illinois College offers. So regardless of, where you decide to go, what your financial situation is, college is something you have to plan for. So it's something that you have to financially kind of plan out over your 4 years. And usually when people are making those plans, they aren't planning for another year or another semester of college. So it's nice to know that at Illinois College, we do guarantee that you will graduate in 4 years or less. So that is something, that isn't guaranteed everywhere else. So you could end up having to be, at another institution for another semester, another year, and then have to pay for it. So you would not have to pay for it at Illinois College. We would help you pay for the rest of those classes to finish your major. So some student experiences. Our Center for Student Involvement has so many things for you to get involved in. So we have over 80 clubs and organizations at IC, and as you can see, it really ranges. So you can get involved in cultural clubs, you can get involved in student government, religious life, music, whatever it is, Greek life, you can find it. So we have a big involvement fair at the beginning of the year, and all of the clubs set up their tables. You can kind of walk around and get on the email list and kind of check it out. So usually you will get on a bunch of email lists and go to a bunch of meetings and then kind of find what it is that you want to stick with. So 3/4 of our students are involved in at least one thing on campus. So that's really cool. It's not like you have to just take classes and that's all the time you have. You do have time to get involved in a lot of things. Athletics are also very big at Illinois College. So about 1/3 of our students are athletes here at IC. We have 23 intercollegiate athletic programs here, and we are in Division III of the NCAA Midwest Conference. So something that's nice about, athletics at IC is, one, it really just is a fun part of the culture. Whether you're involved in it or not, you'll see, students, faculty, staff, parents really do come out to support the games. If you're a student and whether you're an athlete or not, you get into every game, match, event for free as long as you have your student ID. So that was really fun. Like, I played sports in high school, but I did not continue them, but I liked watching sports. So it was fun to be able to go to the football game with my friends on a Saturday and not have to pay to go watch my classmates and stuff like that. But yeah, really cool experiences there. It really is a family. You'll see all the time, sports having dinner together, or sports, doing study sessions in the library. So you really do find that family there as well. We also have our Blue Crew. So for students that, aren't involved in athletics, we have that Blue Crew, which is our student-led student section. And they do a lot of fun things. They can give out free food, free giveaways, things like that. So next steps, if you are a senior, your next step would be to apply. And if you are not a senior, if you're a junior, sophomore, freshman, this would just be applicable to your senior year. So our application is completely free. You can find it online at admission.ic.edu/apply, or we're also on the Common App or the Coalition app as well. So we will accept that. We just ask for your official high school transcript. Right now we are accepting unofficial high school transcripts as well. Again, I will be your admission counselor, so you can send them directly to me, or you can just ask your high school counselor to send those on over to us. And then secondary school report. So this is not a requirement, but lots of times counselors are going to go ahead and fill that out anyway. And so that is, something that can be sent to us as well. And then we are also test score optional. So I want to make sure to add that in. Illinois College has been test score optional for the past 10 years. And of course, that's not going to change this year, and it's not going to change anytime soon. So, there's a lot of seniors on the boat right now that didn't even get to take an ACT or SAT because it was canceled. So that's okay. You can apply without it. We will not ask for it for admission. You can be admitted without a test score. If you have taken a test and you were like, yeah, I did pretty well, I think it, accurately reflects how I am as a student, you can go ahead and send that in. But if not, if you think, yeah, I didn't do too well on it, I don't really want, IC to see that score, that's fine. You don't have to send it in either, and we won't even look at it. But if you go ahead and apply now, since the application is open, and then you take the ACT or SAT, let's say next month, and you do well on it, you can always send us that score and it could potentially bump up your scholarship. So we will accept test scores up to May 1. And then a little bit more about scholarships. So we have our full tuition scholarship. That is our trustee scholarship. So each year we give 5 of those. And so what that process is we pull people from the admit pool. So you do not have to do a special application or anything like that. And with that, we do interviews, and you come to campus and you get to interview with a current faculty and student. And then we give 5 full tuition scholarships with that. And then even if you do come interview and you don't get one of the full tuition scholarships, that is your opportunity to still get into the honors program. So you could still be offered a spot in the honors program as well. And then we also have our AeroSTEM scholarship. So that is, again, 5 full tuition scholarships. And that is a grant that Illinois College received. And so this is for students interested in the STEM programs that do not necessarily want to become, you know, a doctor or something like that. So if you wanted to go into the research side of things, this would be, you know, something really great for you as well. There are a lot of criteria with that. So again, just something to talk to me about as your admission counselor to see if you meet that criteria, but that is another option for you as well. And so then also there would be kind of 3 levels for a merit-based scholarship. So if you're admitted, every student will receive a merit-based scholarship, which will be anywhere from $12,000 to $19,000 a year. And we also have our location-based scholarship. So if you're coming from Missouri, you would either be eligible for our Gateway Award, and that is if you are from St. Louis, so that's an automatic $2,000 scholarship, or you could get our Trailblazer Award, which is just our out-of-state scholarship if you are not from St. Louis directly. And then we also have our Ready for Success Award as well. So there's 2 parts to that. It would be visiting, whether that's virtually or in person, and we are offering both right now. And then filing your FAFSA, which if you're a senior, that opens up October 1, so definitely look into that. Or if you are a non-filer, you can just let me know that as well, and then you'd be marked for that requirement. We also have some other scholarships in speech and debate, music, and esports. So if that is something you're involved in high school and would like to continue into college, you know, definitely have that conversation with me and we can get you in contact with the respective people for that. And that can be another $500 to $1,000 a year. So I know I've said a lot and I've talked about a lot of different things and had several slides, but just to kind of wrap up with the value of an education you're going to get at Illinois College, you have that guaranteed internship, research, or study abroad. So again, whatever it is you're interested in, you can find just right at the end of your fingertips. It's right there for you to grab and take hold of. Our textbooks are included in tuition, so that is a really great value because lots of times when you're looking at schools, you know, you're paying this money and then you have to go pay an extra $1,000 a year or so to pay for your textbooks. We've already included textbooks in our total cost, so you don't have to worry about paying that additional. So when you're looking at a financial aid offer from IC, that does already include textbooks in it. Again, our finish and 4 guarantees, so with that value, you won't have to worry about paying another semester, another year of college. We guarantee you will graduate in 4 years or less. As you just saw, we do give generous scholarships and financial aid as well. So, you know, you could be receiving up to $24,000 a year just from us. And so that's not even federal or state aid there. And then again, our academic coach support system that every student has. So I want to go ahead and bring on Sydney and Jordan. So these are 2 current students, and I just have a few questions for them. And I will go ahead. Sydney, you're on the top for me, so you can answer first, and then Jordan can go ahead and answer. But so the first question, why don't you just tell us about your decision to come to IC and what led you to choose Illinois College?
Well, I'm from Springfield, so it's about 30 minutes from school, which is not very far. And I knew that I didn't want to go very far from home because I'm a big homebody, really close with my family. And I also realized late in my junior year, early in my senior year, that I needed a small campus because I really enjoyed being involved in a lot of things in high school. And I wanted to continue that through college. So when I toured Illinois College, it just really felt like home. Everybody seemed really friendly and everybody here really wants you to succeed, which I really appreciate. And it just felt like a different version of home for me.
So the reason that I chose Illinois College is a little bit similar to Sydney. I was definitely looking for a school that had a smaller population. I kind of had a fear of being in a really big lecture hall of 300 students. But I really enjoy how small the class sizes are. You really get to connect with your professors here on campus. And in addition to that, I'm a theater major, side note. I was looking for a theater program that was very hands-on and student-driven. One of the things that's really nice about IC, even beyond the theater department, there's a lot of opportunities for students to participate and get involved with things academically that they might not get at other institutions. So seeing how involved students were with the theater department was something that really drew me in. And again, it's not too far from home. I'm not from Springfield, but from Fairview Heights, Illinois, which is about an hour and a half south. So it's not that bad of a drive if I wanted to go home. It wouldn't be me driving across the country or anything like that. So.
Okay, awesome. And so then the next question, I know, Jordan, you kind of talked about your major, but just tell me a little bit about your journey of deciding what you wanted to major in or what you wanted to study, because a lot of students do come in having no idea what they want to do.
Okay, so I have a lot. I'm a double majoring in business administration with a concentration in marketing. And then I'm also majoring in communications and rhetorical studies. And then I'm minoring in theater. So it's a lot. It's a heavy amount, but I always knew that I wanted to go into business. My plan is to own and operate my family's business once I graduate. So I knew I needed something with a business background. But after my freshman year communications class, I realized I really liked speaking and writing speeches and giving things like that. So I decided, well, let's look into a comm major as well, because if the family business falls through, maybe I can do something with that as well. And I've always been passionate about theater. I've been in community theater since I was 9 years old. So I knew that I needed something like that that was sort of fun on the side that I could be involved in as well.
For me, I came into IC as a chemistry major. I wanted to go into neuroscience. That lasted for about a few months, maybe a whole semester. And then I always call it like my quarter life crisis. I completely shifted everything. I was like, I don't want to wake up and go to a lab every day. No offense to people that want to do that. But for me, I ended up deciding on theater and business because there was a moment where I wanted to run my own theater company. And even now in my senior year, that has changed. And now I'm planning on going into a design program for theater to possibly teach at a university. So irregardless of what you choose for your major, even in your senior year, you might have a change of heart. It might still be associated with your major, but just being at IC has continued to push me to want to do different things. And that's really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that, because you kind of are good examples of kind of knowing what you want to do and sticking with that, but then finding something else too that you want to do, and then completely changing your mind. So yeah, that's super common. How about your transition to IC from home? So I know you're both not too terribly far from home, but were you nervous to come to IC? What was that transition like for you?
The thing that I was most nervous about was living away from my family, since I am really close with them. But I have to say the transition was seamless for me. The school size is just slightly bigger than my high school. My high school was really small, and the class sizes are exactly the same, even less amount of students in each class. And I think the school did a really great job during our welcome week / orientation of bonding us together with our first year seminar professor and our class, so that we could make friends, because we kind of had to. I didn't have any problems at all. I was scared at maybe day one, maybe the first 2 hours of day one I was scared, but otherwise it was nothing.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I was ready to leave home and come to school, to come to college. The welcome week is very, very useful as a first year student. You're waking up each day and you're going to all these different events where you're learning about the school and different academic resources. And it's forcing you not only to learn what's here at IC, but you're also getting out and meeting all of the peers in your class. And that's how I met a lot of my friends. So that was really nice. That was a good way to kind of rip the Band-Aid off a little bit, that I was, finally on my own and away from home. So for me, it was seamless as well.
Awesome, awesome. So one of the big things about IC, as you both mentioned, is that class size and that connection you make with professors. So who would you say, and I won't tell, but who would you say is your favorite professor? What do they teach and why are they your favorite?
Okay, I have to split mine by year. So last year it had to have been my first year seminar professor, Professor Wendell, Dane Wendell, just because we were with him every day. But he is so funny, and he was really concerned about like how we were doing just as freshmen, not necessarily about like the course that we were taking. I remember we would have like one day a week where he just like would pause the class lectures and say, okay, how are you guys doing? Are you sleeping? We would chart like our number of hours that we would have slept. And so that was like, it was a fun way to like break up the class, but also it showed that he really cared. And then this year, I would say my accounting professor, Dana Banger, she is by far my favorite. She is the most caring teacher I think I have ever had, maybe except my like second grade teacher in elementary school. But her son was tested positive for COVID-19, so she had to like go completely remote for about 2 weeks. I think it's been about 2 weeks, and we're just starting back on Friday. But during the whole time, she has been so open and willing to like Zoom meet with any of us. She gave us her cell phone number to text her at any time if we needed help. And I swear you will never find any more caring teachers on a college campus than you will here, because they all genuinely just want you to succeed.
I have a couple as well. In short, I'll say all the theater professors are some of my favorites, and I'll just say that and get that out the way. But outside of that, Dr. Penny Hasse-Whitler, she's an environmental studies and education professor. Those are two things that I had no interest of pursuing a career or education in, but I took one class with her for environmental studies, and she was by far the most energetic and enthusiastic professor I've ever had. And that energy really made me want to learn the material. It made me want to major in environmental studies. And it's really nice to see that the professors are excited about the work that they're doing and what they're teaching, because it just makes it it just makes it better for us as students. It's so much more enjoyable to go to class and the professor wants to be there, and it's just such a good environment to be in. And then on top of that, Dr. Alonzo Ward, who is a history professor here, he is another favorite of mine. He is someone I can go to, and if I have anything that I need to say, I can say it to him. He's an open ear. He's always willing to listen and advocate for people on campus and students. So it's nice to have that support from him as well. All the faculty and staff on campus really support the students here at IC and really want to see them succeed. And if they're struggling in any way, they will reach out and help you and make sure that you're doing okay or finding a way to help you out to do better.
For sure, for sure. So outside of your classes and your professors and stuff like that, you're both very involved. So can you think of a time, that you have helped a fellow student or you have been helped by a fellow student, just kind of touching on that community, that family that IC is?
I almost like raised my hand for like you to fall on me.
Yes.
I don't know, it's a Zoom class thing. I'd have to say, well, I was constantly helped by fellow students, especially my freshman year. I know I'm on the dance team, so our dance team captain the first week took me and my other freshman roommate, and we walked the whole entire campus, and it was like a glorified tour, except it was based solely off of our schedule and like where we need to go. And then here's the classroom and here's the professor's office when you need to find them, which was really helpful. But being involved in things like the Sigma Phi Epsilon Literary Society, all of us are constantly helping other people. We do like countless numbers of service work on campus and off of campus. And I'm also a student ambassador, so I help out with Bright Blue and admitted students, which is really nice. And I'm a member of the honors program, so I'm an honors mentor this year, which I I have a little mentee, and we meet for lunch every couple of weeks and just discuss how she's doing and if she needs help in any classes or finding people to talk to if she does need help.
So I'm also a student ambassador as well. So I do the same thing that Sydney said. I help out with admissions. I'm also an assistant hall director. So I'm an RA / hall director for a building. And this is my second year as an RA. So I, of course, have been kind of like a big brother to the people that have lived on my floor. And it's always nice that they feel comfortable to come to me if they're just stressed out and need someone to talk to, or if like the light went out in their room and things like that. Those small things, I'm there for that as well. Extracurricularly, I'm involved in a few things. I'm the president for Alpha Psi Omega, which is the Theater Academic Honor Society on campus, as well as the vice president for the Black Student Union. So I'm very involved with the two of those things, one being associated with my academics, and two, being a club. And it's just really nice to have a presence on campus. There's a lot of people that I've met through my different organizations on campus and involvement. So it's really nice to connect with those people. And it goes without saying that everyone who's in the different clubs that I'm in, and I'm sure Sydney can say the same thing, they all feel comfortable with helping each other out in, any time of need, or if, say, someone is stressed out or something bad happens or someone's just having a bad day, there's so many people that you can lean on that are in your corner, that are there for you if you need them.
Awesome. And last but not least, if you had to give a prospective student advice on finding the best college hours for them, what would you say?
I would say go for wherever you, oh my gosh, please stop. I'm sorry, I'm in the library. I would say go wherever you feel like you are at home the most and where you know that you are going to succeed. If you can tell if you've met a professor and you really click with them, or you really even click with your admissions counselor. Lakin was my admissions counselor, and she and I clicked from the minute that she emailed me. And I know that if I ever needed help with anything, that's another person that I can turn to. So if you've already made connections somewhere and you just feel comfortable and it feels right to you, that's the best thing that I can say for making a college decision.
Yes, that is exactly what I say on my tours as well. You should look for a place that is going to be your home. You're going to be going somewhere for 4 years, and it's important that you see yourself, one, staying there for 4 years, and two, really growing and developing academically, socially, just as a person. That's one of the reasons why I chose IC, because I knew, compared to the other schools that I looked at, and I'm not going to name anyone, this was the place where I felt that, one, I'd be at home and I'd be comfortable being here for 4 years, as well as I just saw so much potential for what I could do academically at IC.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for sharing a little bit of the student insight. Hey, Caleb, did we have any questions for either Sydney or Jordan, or anything from the actual presentation?
Looks like we don't have any questions right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So last but not least then, here's just some contact information for me. So again, regardless of where you are coming from Missouri, I will be your admission counselor. So that number right there at the top, that is my work phone, and that is my email there. So you can feel free to call me or email me anytime with any questions. And if you just want to learn a little bit more about IC as well, then we also have just our generic website too.
Well, thank you so much, you guys. That was terrific information. Really, really appreciate it. I learned a lot today, so thank you for sharing. And let's see, just going to go ahead and share my screen now, and we will wrap up with our participants. It's always a few clicks here to get going. Okay, so again, thank you so much for joining us tonight, taking the time out of your evening to be here. When you close this window, there will be a link to a quick 4-question survey, and we certainly appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Just a reminder again, this is just one of many sessions that are still being held, and you can see the additional session schedule as well as access recordings for all sessions that have been done thus far at moacac.org. Thank you again, and thank you to our presenters, and you guys have a great evening.
Thank you, too.
Thank you.